Holy shit, Bob, wake up. The new Tarkov killer set in Vietnam with factions, large open map to explore, quests to do, all while not having to load the game. And you can see where your team just went live.
Gray Zone Warfare. It's a game, that's for sure. It's definitely one of the games of all time, I can bravely say. New kid on the block to do the looter shooter format, dubbed the Tarkov Killer, although those bums don't really need a lot of help killing themselves these days. Released on April 30th by Madfinger Games, met with pretty mixed reviews. Let's see why. Gray Zone Warfare through my eyes. Let me be fair and set this up correctly for those who don't know and are here to learn. The first missions are a roundabout way to teach you the danger, the sounds, mechanics of the game. Simple, find, plan, locate, unlock this door missions while dodging ex-Apple employees as you traverse the streets and alleys. Once you clear these tasks, fighting a boss, then off to the race, all the way to the top of the map, where the guys got real guns. You're gonna die plenty. From there, we check out the bunker and Van Pa. Those areas are more PvP heavy, and it's a lot more apparent, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's sum up my first 10 hours or so. Lots of running in the starter city. No loot really to be found. Lots of repeating areas. Not what I want my first impressions to be, but I persevered, even though I hovered over the refund button once or twice. That's for sure. Then when I got to the bunker and Hunter's Paradise, I was met with more worthwhile loot, gear attachments, cooler POIs, tighter quarters, PvE and PvP. I'll try not to reference Tarkov like too much in this, but in Tarkov, at least you can hide your buddy's stuff or carry it out and just be done with it. But once you realize that you're not even going to be able to see your body to loot it, that becomes part of the gamble. By the way, at the time of this recording, just pull all your buddy's stuff off his dead body and just he can grab it later. It's not worth the gamble of whether or not his body's there for him. Now, PvP is like a relay race. Think about this. You get in a 2v2 fight, you die. Now it's a 1v2. Your buddy gets a 1 and you die. Now you're mashing M to call bird. All the choppers are out. You're flying back. He says he hears a chopper. It's them. They flew back. Now to make it a 1v2 again, you get back. Now it's a 2v2. That's PvP. You're just running. It's a lot of running back and forth until somebody gives up. You fight, you win, they come back, you win or you lose. Now you got to come back. God forbid that they fly and try to flank you. It's a whole thing. And then trying to divvy up the loot and everything else. You can't see your body. He can see. It's a fucking mess. It's just not, it's not where I want it to be at all. To be honest, nothing is really quite worth coming back for after maybe 1 or 2 times, unless you're fully kidding to come back and fight and not get your loot back or just get shot off your LZ. God forbid. Steak rat be damned. That didn't happen too much, but it's a possibility for sure. Now, I know this game is not PvP. Focused, but let's get that stated. Sorry, the helicopter's really loud. I know it's not PvP focused, so I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm no PvP lover myself. I like to shoot bots. Like SPT's single player Tarkov is like one of my favorite iterations of Tarkov ever at the moment. Not even the actual game. I'm no Chad. I'm a little loot lord, and I'm proud of that. But fuck, man, give me something to do. Join Ops is a mode that I'm unsure of its reason to exist right now, other than 100% making it easier to queue with a group. You can't hurt your faction or vice versa, or really anybody for that matter, but you can still help them out. It's pretty much the same game with less wait time. The choppers are not full all the time. It's much easier to get in and out of games and reset the servers. The AI seems to be a little bit more turned up, but other than that, it's still all the same game. Your progress is here, so quest items and stashes, all the same stuff. Literally switched over to it in the middle of just regular like gameplay, thinking it may be a new character. No, same character, just offline mode with all my stuff. It's pretty cool. Loot, as I said, there's nothing as far as loot is concerned. I can see the idea of objects that seem lootable, just aren't as of yet. There's like drills and high value items that seem to be on a loot table of some kind. It's just not available as of the purchase of this game and the filming of this video. 30% or so of the whole idea of Gray Zone Warfare is out right now. That's what I'm being told. A lot of reputable sources on that. I'm not going to damn the whole project, but for what I'm seeing, I will. Quest progress is what keeps me going because I'm a little brain dead ape that likes to see small number be big number. Now I have new locations to visit, was more of a challenge. And I'm very excited about that. Going to more challenging areas has definitely extended this game's life in my hands. I do love how if you fail at a run, if you fail and die, it's not over. It's not 2 loading screens till you get back to have to re-kit, another wait around for everybody to get their kits together, and then another loading screen to start a new instance. You could be in a dead server or just pants off gaming with no issues. Or you could be in a literal war zone, fighting for your life, just trying to find a VHS tape. It is nice, but those times come in waves. Very late into the night when the server feels like it's dead. The traders. This is where I am a little bummed. The traders don't have any charm or life to them, really. Just quests. Find this, mark that, kill X amount of number of these guys until blank. It's kind of the same thing over and over. They're not voiced or anything, really, and I feel like that detracts from the way that you interact with them. I mean, rather than a static PNG, I get a full-on frontal of them, and yet it's like they're giving me conjugal visits rather than being a human of free will. The way you put together a kit and move on to the next location is quite smooth. It'll absolutely spoil me forever on how I view and play these kinds of games. It's truly a new standard. Weapons, I've only really seen the M4 and the AK get used. I've shot a shotgun once or twice in a Mosin. But other than that, they feel nice. I do enjoy to use them, but there's no weight or like oomph to them. You know what I mean? It feels very pop, 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 pop. It's like the same gun no matter what I'm really using, just more of a recoil visual change, if anything. The environment around you is very awesome when there's unsuppressed and suppressed weapons going off. You can't really gauge how close someone is to you, but you feel surrounded, whether it be by enemy or team. You really feel on your toes. Now, I found some cool weapons, but the list is not nearly as long as, say, something like Tarkov that found some really cool weapons, along with like rewards from tasks and other things. I can see there's going to be lots of weapons, but I just simply have not discovered a large variety of that. And I know that's going to come with time. The armor system works well. And as I had better armor, I survived way more onslaught from the AI. I could heal more, and about 80% durability is when you really feel it working less. Under 80%, I feel like I was getting hit fewer times to be put into a coma faster. And we'll talk about the healing system coming up. The healing system is wild. Once you grasp it, and you know that using gauze and bandages and not wrapping an AFAC around your arm to seal a hole the size of a Toyota Corolla, you will learn how to enjoy it. They opted to make it a more slow pace and precise approach to healing that'll force you to disengage, pack a wound, stop bleeding, and then get back into the fight, or take painkillers and just gladiator push like the Chad that you wish you were. You can also be in a downed or coma state, as we were talking about before. Then you get poked and prodded by your clueless teammate until they stick you with needles and cut your foreskin off, and then you'll probably die anyway. But the option to continue to fight is there. And once you figure out how that works, it is quite simple. Once down by my teammates, they put 2 bandages on me, slap a tourniquet, maybe a serve kit, and then gave me some blood, and boom, I'm right back there in the fight. They don't even have to do most of that. They just have to really get to the severe wounds, and then bam, you're back into the fight. You're a little messed up, but you're back. 2 bugs aside, there's no downtime in the game. So often you're going to have to ask for a second to sort your stash or buy armor and set everything up, because while you're doing that, your chopper's getting called by one of your teammates so you guys can go on to the next mission. And then you're in the helicopter and you're moving. The most downtime there is between the helicopters. And there is a lot of helicopter riding in this. There's so much helicopter riding. So I guess that is your TikTok, Twitter scroll time. Unlike Tarkov, helping the boys catch up in tasks or in levels, it's you nothing. You get little to no XP. And the faction with keys or finding items is fun and actually pretty fluid. You get used to jumping into the base camp and maybe somebody asks you if you have a key or you need some help. Shout out Big Cheese for opening up the bunker door. God bless, I needed that door open.
I forgot the key. Nah, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be funny, man?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna get here and just say, I don't fucking have that shit.
Come on. That'd be a piece of shit move, dude. That would be funny, but I couldn't do that. Good luck, guys. I'm out.
My goat.
Yep, of course.
For real.
But there's nothing to loot. There's nothing to loot or grab or sell for like maybe less than $200, and that's risking your gear, your ammo, your cash, beds, or just dying. So there's no enjoyable part of helping your teammate catch up to you. Not saying you shouldn't help the boys, but I'd stick to a core group of people to play with, because it's a long ass slapping grind to get somebody out of the starter area, and we'll kind of get to that in a little bit. It's really more so a loot and XP problem than anything else, but you know, that is subject to change. Let's talk about the map and the factions. The map is fucking huge. And I mean, even at glance, you have no idea how small you are in this world. Nothing you do matters. It never matters. I mean, why are we here? Why am I even making this video? Anyone even gonna watch this shit? Come on, dude. It takes forever. It takes forever to move any place, but it's so well built in places where it's built. It's awesome. The landscape is cool and it's fun to move around and kind of fight in these places. The map is enormous, but it has little to show for it when you really break it up. This is every POI with the LZs that I have unlocked mashed up into one spot. That is them using negative space to make the game look bigger. Now, I'm no asshole, but that's some shit. The game is beautiful and the POIs are interesting and engaging. The sawmill is cool. The airfield is awesome looking. The bunker is a deep hole of depression and evil, but I love it. They got kind of cooler as we unlocked more places to go. Tiger Bay is sick. The airfield is sick. But you could have done more with this rather than making me look at a faux loading zone of trees and rivers made with places. Make the places more alive. Flying over gunfights and taking pop shots at who knows what team I'm shooting at as they're trying to heal up. But no, in 5 years, a heat map will show 80% of the space and no more than 2 people will ever have crossed through there because they got so lost that they made a wrong turn in a PUBG map. Stuff is out there to explore. Yes, and some places have broken walls and hidden drop downs, and I love that shit. I love it. It feels like I'm playing Metal Gear Solid. But when I want to go out of my way to fly over a villa, I want to be rewarded for the idea of that footwork and not met with 2 AI who I may be the world's first to ever kill them. I just think more needs to be implemented even on an early build such as this. The factions that make up our war zone: Lamang Alcohol and Drug Recovery, Crimson Chin International, and the Giga Mythos Baddies. These are the only good choices, by the way. Giga Mythos Baddies. Those are the guys. Not much changes for your faction other than how your map reads. Cool idea. Awful in practice because I can't look up a guide. Some Crimson Chin head ass posting his map that I have to play Where's Waldo on a building because the latitude and longitude don't line up. But yeah, go off, guys. And not even your traders' missions change up that much. You go to the same places, the same mission. This is what can cook up PvP, but when everybody's got their own starter areas that they're spending an unsurmountable amount of time in, I doubt the early experience is going to be there. And for some people, that's what they want. Like having level 10 me in the starting zone is not fair to level 1 Justin and his cousin Frankie, who don't even know that I can climb 3 stories high to shoot them. And they're terrified of AI voice lines. But hey, I don't blame them. I think faction wars are like a little warning showing that factions are occupying an area at the moment, or even a little alert showing that a faction is really occupying an area could drum up some PvP or drum up the sense of not being alone, aside from popping your map when you hear gunshots just to see, oh, it's Frankie shooting at somebody. I feel as if there's just other factions here or could be here, and that could still be a problem. That sense doesn't leave you, but most of my experience, I never really ran into another faction. I'm no game dev. Let me get that very clear. I'm just a devil's advocate wishing well on something I see having a massive potential. I'm not just going to shit all over this game. It is good for what it is, a PvE extraction shooter with PvP elements in a beautiful landscape. It has all the right feel and so much potential. It's only a game they can mess up. With a massive intrigue from players, from Tarkov and Rust, PUBG alike, AZ, it's a price point that is fair. But what's not to love here? Let me be honest. I wanted to hate this game. I really did. But I wanted to be sure I knew what I was talking about before people asked me, and I just said, nah, doesn't look good. I spent 6 hours on the first task. 8 hours in, I got my first taste of PvP. I spent about 3 hours solo, 22 hours as a duo, 4 hours in a trio, and about 9 in a squad of 4. The map feels stale. Gunfights can feel too simple. It's also a vibe. It's chill and it's fun to goof around with your friends at base, mess with the other players, throw flashbangs, go on missions with randoms on choppers that you didn't call, help people in the world who you may happen to run into. It sucks that you're locked out of playing with homies because they're in a different faction. A treaty item or something would be cool just to be able to run around with your boys. Maybe you lose rep for shooting at a faction that you aligned with, vice versa. That way you guys can enjoy the game together. I see so much being done here. And to be honest, I didn't think I was going to make a whole video when I bought it. Here we are. Call me a fan. Don't call me a stan. But I got to about level 25 before dropping this video. I did a ton of quests, more goofy shit, just to really push the limits. But my overall rating of this game is a good game. Sometimes frustrating at other times, but I can't wait to see what actually gets done with it. If you like this, please let me know. It'll encourage me to make more content like this in the future, maybe starting with Tarkov or Once Human, or just hopping into games I've never played like Remnant 2. Give you my take and my overall review on what I thought about the game. Subscribe if you haven't, so you won't miss future uploads. And if this video gets 100 likes, I'll DM hold Mr. Beast. Later.
Oh.